Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm April Martinez.
And I'm Gavin Courtney.
And welcome. Thank you so much for having us in your home this lovely Tuesday morning. Good morning, Gavin.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah.
It's already bright and sunny outside.
Yeah. It's, I think, after 5 o'clock, and then it bright and sunny outside.
And hot.
And hot as soon as you step out. Like, you ever had one of those days where you take a cold shower and as soon as you step out, just sweat?
That's one of those.
No,
I mean, I have several of those days. Especially recently. I mean, and you know, May. It's that time of year, you know, where it's either, and as we head into next month, it's either going to be really hot or it's going to be raining all day.
That's
so
true.
we know.
Have to brace ourselves, but we'll get more into the weather during the show. But you know, of course, we want to talk a little bit about all the latest news and what's buzzing on the media. And of course, Gavin will give you more insight during his trending talks. But, you know, I want to keep it light and positive today because I don't know about you, but I'm tired of the negative. And in light of that positivity, you know, the Princess Royal Hostel has a new name and a new functioning facility, brand new spaces. They refurbished it and they renamed it, and they also made new rules and regulations as to how it will be operated. You had Honorable Dolores Balderramos Garcia talking about that on last night's broadcast, and she basically said that it will no longer be this hostile place of strong or very abusive discipline on the people that reside in that space. You know, it'll be more of a reform center, and I can't agree with you with that operation even more. That I think it's such a positive and good development taking place. Yes, so it's the New Beginnings Youth Development Center, and you know the name speaks for itself. New beginnings and reform yourself and fresh start. Something good can come out of this stage in your life.
Yes, absolutely. I was also very interested when I watched that story last night because we know that in the past, when that particular facility has made the news, it's most often been for something negative.
Yeah.
We know the problems that have been plaguing the institution, not only due to lack of resources, but also due to lack of you know, the adequate staffing and the amount of real facilities that it takes to operate a facility like this.
Yeah.
So it's really positive to see that there's some investment and that there's some attention being placed on the new Youth Development Center.
Yeah.
Well, New Beginnings, I just say the full title, but I was saying the new one.
Yes,
it really
yes.
It's still the same. It's still it still serves the same function.
Right.
And hopefully now it will be able to do so much more, and we can see as the facility, you can see the facility had got a entire new facelift and upgrade, and so it's definitely something positive to look forward to, and we really hope that the people who are going to be working there and also who are going to be you know, utilizing the service, living there, or even just coming for whatever reason, will be able to benefit now from these refurbishments.
All right, and I like not just the fact that you said that it's a new space, you know, it's refurbished, again, facelift, I love that, and the new staffing and so, but I believe that the minister also had claimed that there were a lot of cases of runaways, you know, and the only time a person will run away is because they're very unhappy in the environment, or they're trying to flee, you know, a hostile environment. So hopefully now it's going to be less of that, a more positive space where they're able to grow and to learn new skills, because I believe they also mentioned that they were taking courses during COVID and so forth. So it's a fresh new start to some of the new enforced ways of dealing with certain problems in our society, other than just call the police, deal with them in a hostile manner, throw them in a jail, lock away the key. So this, I think, is a new way for us to get in that right direction. Hopefully, we know we'll get a mental health facility and so forth. So you deal with certain societal problems accordingly. But on another positive note, and I promised I was going to keep this buzzing segment positive. Our good friend Alexander Evans made it to the preliminaries for the Panograma.
Yep.
And for those of you that don't know what that is, the Panograma is like a steel pan competition throughout the Caribbean that was implemented in 2020 during COVID, and it's a competition, you know, for see who that best pan is in the Caribbean. And our only representative from Belize, Alex Evans, made the preliminaries and the semifinals. So he's moving on to the next level.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, which is significant for a lot of reasons. It's the first Belizean to participate in the competition.
Yes.
And on his debut performance, of course, he gets through to the next round, so that's extremely positive. It's a competition that's taking place online, and then there's footage of him actually competing, you know, with his musical rendition. So as the competition progresses, we're definitely going to be watching it, but we definitely want to say congrats to Alex on accomplishing what he has so far.
And of course, if you want to support him, you have to follow Panograma on all the social medias on Facebook and Instagram. And then, of course, you have to go into the comment section, like it, put hashtag Belize with the Belizean flags. Just, you know, give him that overall support so that he can win. And it was, I don't know about you, you studied in Trinidad, yes?
No, actually,
no, you didn't? What? How you missed that?
No,
you got into all the others and then you missed
Well, I've
Trinidad?
been to Trinidad, but I've not, I didn't study there.
Oh.
So,
How is the pan steel culture just as vibrant as they say it is?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I went around Carnival time both times that I've been, and so the steel pan is actually a very big part of it. And there's several steel pan concerts. I mean, you know, we have a few steel bands and or pan orchestras, as they call them. Yeah. But you know, in Trinidad, because that's the whole origin of the
home
of the steel pan. I mean, you can imagine that it's, you know, like what we have, but like times 10, huge bands. Yeah. And the whole. I mean, you can go to. I mean, there's some concerts, there's some festivals where the entire night or the entire 2 days or something is just all steel pan.
I can't picture Gavin the Carnival at Trinidad. No. Okay. There are pictures somewhere in.
Yeah, but it's not me.
It's not you. It's your evil twin. Yeah. Oh, I love it. But yes, I just wanted to keep those light, positive notes this morning and get you going into your Tuesday so that you have a lovely rest of your day. Of course, you can catch more news footage on our news segment on News 5 Live tonight at 6. But we just want to keep it light. We want to keep it refreshing, and of course, moving into our motivation for this morning. And our motivation is our eye opener, and our eye opener is taken from dailyom.com, and it goes like this. The desire for a short nap during the day does not arise out of laziness, rather the need for the body to rejuvenate. In the modern world, we're often compelled to be as productive as possible during as many hours of the day as we can. While this can lead to great feats of accomplishments, we may become exhausted and find ourselves craving rest and rejuvenation. We may feel like taking a nap, but feel guilty about indulging in even 10 minutes of rest. This need for personal downtime, which many people experience in the early afternoon, isn't a sign of laziness, nor is it necessarily related to how much sleep you had the night before. There was even a time when taking a nap was considered a natural part of everyone's day. In order to fully enjoy the benefits of napping, you may need to give yourself permission to nap. Feeling guilty about snoozing or worrying about your to-do list won't do much good when you are trying to take a nap, because your thoughts of feelings will keep you awake. Try to nap at the same time each day and use an alarm clock to ensure that you don't sleep for too long. If you go to an office, try crawl under the corner under your desk for a nap. Learning to nap and enjoy its restorative benefits can help you wake up restored, rejuvenated, and ready for the rest of your day. You know, I feel like that was a nap, like a jab at the fact that I did that once. Like, have you ever napped under your desk at your office?
You know, I have.
I think everybody
Believe
has.
it or not, it's not that comfortable for me, being that I'm over 6 feet tall. But
Like a struggle.
but I've done it before, and I like that eye opener. I
Yes.
think that the reminder that rest is important is absolutely one that we have to keep in mind.
Yeah.
And I like that it does make the point that it's like, it's not about laziness, or it's not saying, okay, you didn't get enough sleep. But even if that's the case, I mean, if you may not have had enough sleep, then you know how that affects your function throughout the day. And actually, in several cultures, they, like particularly in a lot of Latin cultures, you have this siesta, where, you know, they take a long extended break. Like, we're used to having 1 hour for lunch, maybe max.
Yeah.
Whereas in other countries, I know a lot of parts of Mexico, you know, Spain or South America, it's 3-4 hours.
They take that siesta
Exactly.
seriously. And here I am trying not to fall over my chair every time I have a big lunch.
Yep.
You know, but I think I like the points that you made, but also I wanted to add that we kind of glorify working a lot.
yeah.
We glorify that, oh, there's always a need to do something, and you have to work to get there. And when we think about people relaxing and resting, we're like, why I'm working and why they're not? And it's not a thing to glorify, because overworking leads to stress and, you know, severe health issues in the longer run. So taking the time to stop, smell the flowers, and rest does, you'll feel better. Trust me, you'll feel better.
Yeah, for sure. I think, and it's important that you brought that up, because in particularly on social media and and a lot of content that's directed towards like younger people tends to have that, you know, like they call it the rise and grind culture, and you know, you have to be investing in this, and you have to you have to have a day job, and you have to have multiple income streams, and you have to invest in this, and you have to buy crypto, and you have to buy stocks, and and I'm like, look, there's only 24 hours in one day.
Yeah.
We have to dedicate enough time to resting, whether that be a 10-minute nap, or whether that be, for some people can handle it, but it shouldn't be the standard that everybody needs to work towards, you know.
I 100% agree. And we hope that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, that you remember that it's important to take care of you and to rest.
Yep.
So I love that eye-opener. That was a good one for today. Leading on into positivity for this morning. We hope that we get some positive weather forecast from our folks at the Meteorological Service this morning. Hopefully we'll have that ready for you today now.
Do we have them? Or?
Okay, we have to read it today.
Okay.
So Gavin, tell us the general situation.
All right. So what we're expecting is a light easterly airflow to continue to support warm conditions over our area. And over the next 24 hours, we're expecting it to be mostly sunny today and clear to partly cloudy skies tonight. There will be little or no rainfall, except for the chance of isolated thunderstorms developing over the mountains this afternoon.
All right, and our temperatures this morning, our highs and for today, our highs and lows: 89 degrees in the coast, 98 inland, and 82 degrees in the hills. Our lows for tonight are 80 on the coast, 72 inland, and 66 in the hills. Yep. We have our marine conditions with our winds being east 5 to 15 knots, and our sea state is slightly chopped. The advisories and warnings given by the National Meteorological Service, our residents are, especially those inland, are advised to stay hydrated and avoid outdoor activities during the daytime as much as possible. Remember that when you are already thirsty, you are already dehydrated. Our extended outlook for Wednesday and Wednesday night is for warm and dry conditions to prevail.
So there you have it. That is our forecast for this morning. As we kind of predicted earlier on in the show, it's going to be another hot one.
It's going to be a hot day.
So, and as you listen to the advisory, do stay hydrated and keep indoors if you're able to, especially if you are in those inland areas. Temperatures are going to be reaching pretty high today, and you definitely want to stay out of the sun.
My Belmopan people, please drink water. Yes. Please drink water. We don't have a lot of shade. But yes, moving on into our show for this morning. Gavin, we have 3 packed segments for you today. Our first segment, we will be joined by the representatives of the Belize Port Authority and National Liaison, Belize, and we will be talking with them about the first International Day of Women in Maritime. So that should be a wonderful conversation. The rest of the world is celebrating it, and so is Belize.
And our second conversation, we are going to be giving you a breakdown of the new Trade Licensing Act, which has been, of course, making a lot of buzz in both the news and online. So we are going to be joined by various representatives from the ministry, including the Minister of Rural Transformation, Community Development, Labor and Local Government. And that is going to be our second segment for this morning.
All right, and kind of just tying into our conversation that we were having this morning with Gavin off camera, Caribbean Tires will be joining us today and talking about their vehicle battery line Atlas. So that should be a fun conversation to wrap up our show this morning.
Yep, and then we've got some right before we close. It is Tuesday, so I'm going to be talking about some trending topics. That's where I give you a little bit of a breakdown of the most buzzing social media topics, both here and abroad, and that's going to be our final segment before we close.
All right, but before we get into it, of course, we have to take a short break, and when we get back, International Women's Day in Maritime. Stay tuned.
Empowering women isn't just an idea or a concept.
Women are an integral part of all workforces, including the maritime industry. For years, they have contributed to the success of shipping lines, ports, onshore services, and more. Yet today, women only represent 1.2% of the global seafarer workforce. On Wednesday, the Belize Port Authority, the Belize Coast Guard, and the International Merchant Marine Registry of Belize invite you to join them in the first celebration of the International Day for Women in Maritime, celebrating under the theme, Training, Visibility, Recognition, supporting a barrier-free working environment. The event will highlight issues like the need for visibility of women in the maritime community and the many contributions women have made. It will also recognize the women already making waves in Belize. Join the ceremony live on Channel 5, Facebook, or YouTube on Wednesday, May 18th at 9 a.m.
After a rough week of school, Jake and his friends decide to treat themselves to frozen coffee. And since they don't have cash on them, they decide to use eCash. With eCash's geolocation feature, Jake can easily find the nearest coffee spot. With eCash's built-in option to split bills, Jake can pay the bill and his friends can reimburse their portion of the bill. Jake scans the merchant's code and confirms payment. Jake then views his transaction history and taps on the transaction recently made, then taps the split the bill button where he selects the evenly option to evenly split the bill. The application splits the bill automatically. His friends receive and accept the request. Geolocation and splitting the bill via eCash makes Jake enjoy his digital lifestyle.
Applying for a Social Security sickness benefit? Here's what you need to know. A complete claims package include 1. Sickness claim form fully completed by the claimant and medical doctor. 2. Salaries record form completed by the employer or HR representative. 3. Proof of bank account such as bank book, online banking, or statement displaying your name and account number. To submit via email, you need to Take a clear photo or scan of the documents and email to claims@socialsecurity.org.bz. Be sure to include your full name, social security number, and benefit type in the subject line of the email. Or you can drop off all completed forms into the Dropbox slot at the nearest branch office. Deadline to submit is 14 days from your first day of illness. All forms are available on the website at www.socialsecurity.org.bz. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
This May will be amazing at Benny's. Get amazing deals and great gifts from Mom. We have Pyrex Bakeware, Chicago Cutlery Knife Sets, Corningware, Snapware, and the elegant yet durable Coral Dinnerware Sets at amazing prices. Check out our impressive line of Sankey appliances and much, much more. Take advantage of these amazing deals all May long only at Benny's, celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind-the-scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, won't even try.
Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, ain't gon' try. Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, ain't gon' try. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going. going, I'm not going with ya. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. People die every day, I'm not going with ya. I'ma find my own way, I'm not going with ya. It's okay, I'll wait. Even good people make mistakes. I don't wanna realize when it's too late. Drinking and driving is never safe. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. Been drinking all night, feeling so high. Better not drive, ain't gon' try. Been drinking all night, feeling so high. Better not drive, ain't gon' try.
And we're back. And as we said before the break, we are now going to be talking all about the first International Day for Women in Maritime. And joining us in our studio to talk all about this special day, we have Stacey Swift from the Belize Port Authority and National Liaison. And we also have Shawty Reyes from the Belize Coast Guard.
Welcome, ladies.
Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning.
So, International Day of Women in Maritime. First International Day.
Yes, that's correct. So the International Maritime Organization last year adopted International Day for Women in Maritime. So it's a day designated to honor women contribution and achievement to the maritime sector. It's also in accordance to the Sustainable Development Goal, that's number 5, gender equality, to actually empower women and young females in the maritime sector. So we want to promote this event. It's the first time for Belize to actually host this event, so we want to promote it and we want to encourage everybody to be involved, because it's not only about empowering female, it's also to ensure that whatever we do, we have the male counterpart to support us as well.
So what activities and what is the lineup for International Day for Women in Maritime in Belize?
All right, so on Wednesday, we have International Women in Maritime Day. We have dynamic speakers, the President for Women in Maritime Association for Caribbean. We have speech by Mr. Nowak, who is from Cocatram, who is from Mesoamerica, who is also supporting this initiative to develop a national chapter for Belize. We also have special recognition to all female in the maritime sector and maritime agencies who would want to take advantage to actually acknowledge a female in their sector. It will be open up to them. But special highlight, I must say, is that the Belize Port Authority, on behalf of the Minister responsible for Maritime and Port, Shabat, and the Port Authority, will be launching a scholarship opportunity for a female national to pursue a maritime degree at the Caribbean Maritime University in Jamaica.
Wow.
So we have a lot
yes.
coming
yes.
soon.
As women in the maritime sector, I would imagine that you all have extensive years in this field. How do you see those developmental changes taking place from when you started versus now as Belize hosting the first International Day?
I could highlight, well, when I got involved in the maritime sector, it was in 2004, fresh out of high school.
Wow.
I had no knowledge of maritime any at all, and that's why I'm imploring other younger females to take advantage of this career. This is my first job. I have been there 18 years. So definitely I could see whereby it contributed to my development, my perspective on how it's important to empower female within the maritime sector. So I want to encourage more females to get involved and take advantage of this opportunity. There's a lot of career opportunities that Belizeans are missing out, and we need them to be on board with us.
Shadi, what about yourself?
Well, we have been, women have been participating in all areas in the maritime within the Belize Coast Guard. We have had extensive participation, extensive development. To say that one of the major achievements was the Women, Peace and Security policy that we Ms. Alma Pinello launched last year. But there's still more to be done. There's still more females, women to participate, because yes, there is participation, but there's not enough women participation.
And you know, in your experience, well, let's talk, I guess, just about your particular your job. Let's say at the Coast Guard. Would you say that it's still a male-dominated sort of profession?
It is.
And how has that experience been like? You know, for you as a woman working, you know, over the years, working with majority males.
I guess I've never had a major incident or anything where I was put in a position where I had to reiterate, oh, I'm a woman, and then you need to respect me because I'm a woman. But yes, we have to have certain balance and certain ways that we should act as women, because at the end of the day, it's a male-dominated organization.
What is it that you do as your job at the Coast Guard?
Well, at the moment, I'm the adjutant of the Belize Coast Guard. I deal with welfare, personnel administration, and discipline of the Belize Coast Guard.
You discipline all them, man?
Yes.
Proud of you. Yes. So for those of us that are viewing, right, what other jobs, because I know you were talking about other job sectors within the maritime field, but for us in Belize, we kind of only see Coast Guard as that job, or if you're a marine scientist or something like that. So what other jobs could you tell our viewers out there that would be in the maritime field?
Well, if we look at the Belize Port Authority, we have port state control officers, and we have 2 female port state control officers. So these are the persons that go on board foreign ships and board these vessels to ensure that they're compliant with the international conventions and the local regulations for Belize. We also have vessel inspectors. So those are the ones that actually board the domestic vessels to ensure that they're in compliance, like the water taxi operations, the fishing vessels. We lack maritime lawyers So we need more opportunities available to have female pursue careers like maritime lawyers, naval architect, marine surveyors, boat builders. So there's a lot of opportunity that we're not seeing dominated by females. So we want to capitalize on this opportunity to actually bring awareness to them.
What makes the job at in the maritime sector so appealing and inviting, in your opinion?
I believe everything because it comes from the fact that you are out there, that you can pursue a field job to probably an office work, because if you're more the type that wants to do office work, then you can pursue a career there. Or if you want to be out in the field, for instance, in the Belize Coast Guard, we have patrol commanders, we have sector commanders. As women, we have engineers, we have clerks, and many other careers where you can pursue a career, and it's not only limited to one. And we're even opening recently, well, it is in a command plan to open a persecution branch for the Belize Coast Guard, and women will also have that opportunity there because it's about equal rights.
And does celebrating or commemorating a day like this is a big part of it also the chance to sort of share experiences with other women who in the sector? And are you sort of looking forward to that aspect of this, let's say, celebration?
I'm looking forward to the networking, definitely, because that is important. That is the only way we could promote the sector, but also promote each other, because sometimes we don't recognize ourselves. And so with the theme for this year International Women in Maritime Day is training, visibility, recognition. You know, setting the stage for a barrier-free environment so that all of us could work in the sector. So again, you have to love what you do. And when you have a passion for what you do, then it makes it easier.
Do you feel that within the field there are gender biases, in the sense of there will be perhaps one job that is only restricted for males?
Worldwide, yes, but it's something that we're trying to do to break the barriers. Because if we look at the Belize Port Authority, it took like 30-something years to have a female ports commissioner. So that speaks volume of the need and the importance for the empowerment of more women in the sector.
I mean, I don't know if this is a question for you, but do you know more or less how many women do work in the maritime sector?
So based on this opening ceremony, it's actually to start to do the network. And we're going to do a baseline survey where we get the agencies involved and for them to provide us with the information so we could build our database with women in the sector. But for the Belize Port Authority, I must say that 50% in the managerial level is female. And then on a whole, in terms of the organization, we have 49% female. And right now, as the organization, we have a male ports commissioner, we have a male minister, we have a male CEO, we have a male chairman. But what is important is that they're supporting us, right? They're supporting the development of women and also pledge to actually develop a national chapter for women in Belize.
Nice. When it comes to the percentage, do you find that there are more women that are signing up to be a part of like Coast Guard or to be a part of other sectors in the Belize Port Authority?
Well, in the Coast Guard, yes.
Okay.
Yes, there are more women participating in leadership roles and wanting to be part of leadership roles. Recently, we have increased a lot of from probably to only having 3 females in the leadership positions to having about 8 females in leadership positions. So we are getting there.
Yeah.
It is going slow, but we do have progress.
And also, what about like new recruits or people who are willing to join? Do you find that there's a good interest among females willing to join the Coast Guard as well?
Yes, there's a lot of interest, as a matter of fact. women see the Coast Guard as a career, like I said before. They not only see it as, oh, the Coast Guard is just a job, it's a career, because the Belize Coast Guard is a career.
So yesterday we had members of the Trade Winds 2022 join us on the show. And this is not something that I asked them, but I suppose I can ask you, are there any females that are taking part in Trade Winds?
Yes,
okay.
definitely.
She said it with... How has that been for them?
Trade Winds is an exercise that is usually held within the Caribbean and Caribbean community countries. It is held by the U.S. Coast Guard. And women participation, I think the first time women participated was when I went to Trade Winds in 2018.
Wow.
That was
Very
St. Vincent.
recently.
St. Vincent. Yeah, and since then we have had women participation, but women are participating in the operational level, command level, in every level they're participating.
Okay.
So we're seeing progress with it, and
I like it.
And you know, one of the aspects of the theme this year also spoke to visibility. Do you find also that in recent times that you've also been able to, or that women are visible enough in this sector, based on your experience? Are you seeing women in positions of power, for example, or even just in numbers, so that you feel that you're not the odd ones out?
Most definitely. As I mentioned, the International Maritime Organization, they have a women development program. And so many times us as female participate in those programs. They have a program coming up in port management in Le Havre, France. So we're appointing an officer to actually attend that course. So definitely, because of the International Maritime Organization and also Women in Maritime Association, they're kind of highlighting the importance of women development in the sector, and then also to see what scholarship opportunities are available. I just want to highlight when the first inception of the Women in Maritime Association, they had 2 competitions. They had a logo competition and they had a regional essay competition. And it's surprising to say that although we don't have maritime curriculum incorporated in the institution of Belize, 2 female Belizeans won those competitions, right? So I must highlight that, we are talented. There are many opportunities available for females and even our male counterpart, because we don't want to leave them out as well.
So what would you say would be the right qualifications to begin your career in maritime?
In terms of qualification, what the Belize Port Authority have been doing, as you mentioned, in terms of recruit, we just recently recruit some applicants to be a part of our organization. So we have an apprentice marine law enforcement course, and so with that, when they come in, they actually learn the trade in terms of seamanship, because sometimes when you go into an organization, you automatically place in certain positions and you don't know nothing about maritime. So we're giving the exposure to them to take advantage of the course.
And what about, have you ever experienced, or do you know of any sort of experience where there has been any sort of negative, perhaps let's say discrimination, or maybe especially in a field like the Coast Guard, where you think of the that sort of military sort of culture as being not too friendly to women in the past, at least. Have any of you ever experienced or know of experience of people who've gone through any sort of negative experience based on the fact that they may be discriminated against because they're women? Or maybe you've been excluded from certain jobs or activities?
I think that's a very interesting question. However, yes, I have seen cases where women have been excluded from particular jobs because of the simple reason that
they're women.
Yeah, and that's why the WPS was recently launched to provide equity and equality for women within the security services, which is the Coast Guard, BDF, and police. So, and we fall under the maritime sector as well.
For the International Day of Women in Maritime, I know that there are a lot of social media activities and so forth that are in support of women in maritime. Can you talk to us more about those activities?
Well, in terms of the activities, we're trying to see how much we could garner the support of the public. We want to bring awareness, and so that's why we find it necessary to actually come on the talk show to promote the maritime sector, and then also to build the momentum, because coming up in June we have Seafarers Day, and then in September we have World Maritime Day. So we want to share our highlight in terms of what it is that we do in our organization and how we could bring more awareness to the sector.
Apart from the ceremony, is there anything else that we should look forward to?
Right now, apart from the ceremony, that's just the continuation. Because we want this ceremony to open up more opportunities. And so, like I mentioned, after the ceremony, we're going to open up whereby they could submit application in terms of the scholarship opportunity that the Belize Port Authority will be offering.
And about those, let's say, opportunities, what would you say to maybe young people or young women who might be kind of interested, but they don't really know what sort of jobs are open in the maritime sector? Can you give a little bit of, what could be, what are the opportunities that are open?
If I want to apply right now for a job at BPA or in the Coast Guard, what is it that I can do?
Well, like I mentioned,
I am an unskilled civilian that wants to work for BPA. What is there for me to do?
First of all, you'll come in as an apprentice, as I mentioned to you, because you need to know more or less what it is about maritime. And then afterwards, based on your qualification, because we want to know what it is that you bring to our organization. So based on your qualification, we will place you, because we have different area apart from the operations side. For example, I'm the documentation manager. So I deal with licensing and certification of vessels and masters. I also head the information technology unit. So you have accounts, you have services and standards department, and then you have the operations department. So if you're a field officer and you want to go on the sea, you don't want to be probably behind the desk, then you could be a seafarer, you could be a vessel inspectorate, you could be a port state control officer, you could be a hydrographer, you could be an ATON manager, you could be a port inspector. So there's a lot of opportunity available, even as is at the Belize Port Authority. So you could send in your application if you're interested.
What would you say to encourage people to join?
Well, the first thing that you have to do whenever there is an intake, you send in your application, resume, ID, and send your entire package to the Coast Guard. From there, the process, we revise it, we see whether the package is complete. Then proceed to, if the package is complete, we will publish your name in another newspaper or on different news session, So, and after that, well, then you come in for a one-day event, which you would have to take a physical exam. It's running and swimming, and then a written exam. After that, we revise everything. It is checked by somebody from education. The written exam is checked by somebody from education department. And after getting the results, usually the people with the highest grade, they're the ones that they're called, and they're told to report to a certain location, and they go through 3 months recruit training. The 3 months recruit training is very intense. It is physically demanding, because you have to be physically fit, and it has two phases. It has a military phase and it has a maritime phase as well. So if you do complete that, then you enter the Coast Guard as a seaman apprentice. You still remain on 6 months probation, and then you get promoted to seaman if you pass those 6 months probation.
So you put me through all of that for 3 months, and then you put me through our next thing for 6 months?
Yes, because you're supposed to get skilled and learn to handle a weapon. We want to see what you can bring to the organization. And probably if you bring another skill, let us say you're an engineer, we will place you in the engineering department after those 6 months.
Okay.
And you know, what would you say to somebody, like let's say a woman who say, okay, that sounds too difficult, or I can't do that.
I would tell them it's not difficult. The mind is very strong, and if you put it to yourself, if you tell it yourself, I'm going to do it, you will do it, because it's all about
discipline,
grit.
Right.
Yes, having grit.
Said like a true Coast Guard officer. But right now we want to show you all a clip that was given to us by IMO in honor and tribute to International Day of Women in Maritime. So check that out. And when we're done, we'll get back for further discussion.
The maritime world is changing, and for the better. With help from IMO, exciting and rewarding career opportunities are opening up for women, and a new generation of strong and talented women are responding. They're proving that, in today's world, the maritime industries are for everyone. It's not about your gender, it's about what you can do.
It started as a challenge. They were looking for a male to do what I'm doing, and I challenged them that I as a female can, and I have, and I do.
I'm the first female to have been appointed the Managing Director of the Nigerian Post in its 63 years of existence.
We see more women involved in different departments within the maritime industry. We don't see them in the conventional roles anymore, where cooks and clerks. We see them in engineering, we see them going to sea, you see them in the radio rooms, in communications and intelligence, so it's definitely improved.
Apart from the social imperative to promote diversity in the 21st century, supply and demand in the labor force dictate that the industry simply cannot afford to ignore women, a huge potential workforce. Girls and women today have many options, and they are now strong role models in the maritime sector, but many barriers still need to be overcome.
Well, I would say there are opportunities for women, but those opportunities are not equal. The sector as it is generally has a way of discriminating against women, but as women we need not to allow that or accept it, but we need to sort of kick the doors open and get ourselves accepted in the industry.
We need to be more sustainable. We cannot continue leaving aside 50% of the population.
There's still a lack of awareness of the dynamics of what women bring to the table in the maritime sector.
At first, when I was growing up, I didn't know that there was opportunities to come in the maritime industry, and I didn't know that, hey, females were allowed to be a part of it.
We haven't been using the world's talent pool. I think it's a huge potential in actually starting to get a lot more diversity into the shipping business.
The demand since 2015, we have less officers representing than the demand actually requires. To fill that, we're going to have to look outside of our traditional boundaries, and I think where we're going to find that is incorporating more women into the industry.
IMO's gender program has already been running for more than 30 years. When it began, women were often actively prevented from participating in the maritime sector. Training and education opportunities were restricted to males only. So IMO set about changing it in a systematic and targeted way.
As IMO's lead on Women in Maritime, it's been amazing to meet so many women who have benefited from the programme over the years, and to hear their amazing stories. The programme really has made a difference to so many people.
Today, female participation at IMO's own maritime education institutions is at a record level. The World Maritime University has more than 1,000 female graduates, and IMO's International Maritime Law Institute, IMLI, has become the first UN body to include a requirement that 50% of its places must be reserved for women.
I've acquired a lot of knowledge
both theoretical and practical knowledge from the World Maritime University that I use in my day-to-day role as the Director General of the National Fisheries.
I think that IMO has described some very strategic approach to educating and training women, and I think it's one that's enviable.
I applied to IMLE, applied for a scholarship, and I was one of the recipients of an IMO fellowship, which is great, but you don't always hear something that says reserved for women. So I was very happy to have received that scholarship from the IMO so I could pursue my studies at IMLE.
So I applied to the World Maritime University, I got a fellowship, and since graduating from the World Maritime University, my career has really skyrocketed.
I believe that IMO invested in women in port management is very important and will make a difference.
We have engineers in our engineering department, and we have a lot of ladies with us now.
I think organizations and associations like WMAC definitely help. Networking is very important.
And it has also opened up a lot of networks and access to professional and personal growth and access to other women in the industry.
Now there are students in high school that are finding out about the maritime industry now, and that's all because of WMAC and the IMO.
Women in maritime today are strong, powerful, and constantly challenging old-fashioned perceptions. Women in maritime are standing up for themselves and showing that what matters is not who you are, it's what you can do.
Women are strong, we are wonderful. The women I have worked with in this industry so far they're superstars. They're amazing people, they do a fantastic job, and we learn so much from one another.
We all have the same brain, we can think, we're sharp, we're bright. It requires innovative thinkers, and women are that.
I do operations, search and rescue. I am out there with the guys, taking control.
Diversity means better. That's a fact. It's better for teamwork, better for leadership, and better for profits.
Diversity is good business anywhere. The research shows that companies that have more diverse structures are more profitable.
A modern workplace demands modern practices.
What we're looking for is equal opportunities, equal pay, and recognition.
I think there are a lot of men out there who want to see more women in the workforce. They understand the importance of diversity, how that helps their own teams.
Diversity in any form, whether it's race, religion, cultural background, sexual orientation, whatever it is, it brings something special into the organization.
On board, it's like a mini United Nations. We work with many, many different nationalities, male and female, and nobody really seems to care about gender. It's who you are and the job that you do that matters.
We work differently today. For sustainability and success in the modern world, shipping needs women in the workforce, and women helping to drive the decision-making process.
Women have a crucial role to play in the sector, and it must not be overlooked. They must be part of the decision-making process.
I think there is definitely a push to see more women engaged in the maritime industry.
Jump on board. I think you really have to seek those opportunities that challenge you out of your comfort zone.
We as female, we are strong enough to stand our ground and show them that we could do the same type of work that a male will put to execute.
Technology is forcing us to understand that the nature of how we do work today is different.
Shipping can provide meaningful and long careers for women and young people in general, and this is what we should promote.
In my opinion, there's never been a better time to close the gender gap, and I would encourage all to get on board with gender equality.
It's a good job, it's a lucrative job, and everything is possible. That's all I can say. So go out to sea.
Ladies, thoughts? It was lovely to see a representative from Belize in that video.
Definitely. And it highlights also what it is that sometimes they themselves are experiencing within the industry. And so it's definitely to highlight gender equality.
Now, how does it, how does it feel to watch it knowing that there's a big international push then for more equality in your sector?
I believe it is great because with international support, I think we can get more done. I think we have come a long way from where we have started and to where we are now.
100% agree. Ladies, for wrapping up, we're closing off now. Tell us more where we can find the ceremony, what time does it start, and where we can view it.
The ceremony will start on Wednesday, the 18th of May at 9 a.m. on Channel 5. So it's going to be virtual. So we have put out there the link. So definitely take advantage of the link and then come and support us, because we want for you to take the leap with us. We want for you to be the champions of tomorrow.
All right, well, you heard it here first, folks. Tomorrow, May 18th, 9 a.m., International Day for Women in Maritime. You can catch it on live stream on News 5 Live, on Channel 5, and on your YouTube feed. So with that, we're going to take a short break, and when we get back, we'll tune into our next conversation for this morning.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Full-Tech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Full-Tech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Wake up! Wake up! Now which cheese you think you may eat all the while? Gaio cheese with the blue rooster on the label is the traditional and the real deal. The original Dutch, redback or hard cheese in Belize. Be aware! Check your label and make sure it is in English and for the Belize market. Gaio cheese with the blue rooster. The real deal. Santiago Castillo Limited, supporting and building our Belizean community for 95 years and counting.
Gaia Edam Dutch cheese, aged and tropicalized, the best formula for the Belize market, exclusively distributed by Santiago Castillo Limited.
Get ready! Universal Hardware is doing it again with a mega sale in Belize City from May 19th to May 21st. Enjoy deep discounts on Leaf Fan motorcycles, Echo chainsaws, Shindaiwa brush cutters, Makita power tools, Easy Care paint, Cali flooring, Toolcraft hand tools, Sankey AC units, and much more.
Grand raffle on May 21st. Don't miss out.
Universal Hardware, the preferred solutions provider.
Digifans, the 2022 Belize Telephone Directory is now available. Pick up your free copy at any Digistore and ENR branches countrywide. Check out our cellular, residential, and Yellow Page listings. It's the most complete guide in Belize. You can also access the directory on the go by downloading the free Find Yellow mobile app from the Google Play and Apple Store. For more info, log on to www.findyellow.com. The 2022 Belize Telephone Directory. Get your copy today.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind-the-scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
The maritime industry is the main connector for global trade. Even in a worldwide pandemic, shipping has continued to transport more.
Empowering women isn't just an idea or a concept.
Women are an integral part of all workforces, including the maritime industry. For years, they have contributed to the success of shipping lines, ports, onshore services, and more. Yet today, women only represent 1.2% of the global seafarer workforce. On Wednesday, the Belize Port Authority, the Belize Coast Guard, and the International Merchant Marine Registry of Belize invite you to join them in the first celebration of the International Day for Women in Maritime, celebrating under the theme, Training, Visibility, Recognition, supporting a barrier-free working environment. The event will highlight issues like the need for visibility of women in the maritime community and the many contributions women have made. It will also recognize the women already making waves in Belize. Join the ceremony live on Channel 5, Facebook, or YouTube on Wednesday, May 18th at 9 a.m.
And we are back, and joining us in studio, we have three wonderful guests lined up for today. Honorable Oscar Kenya, we have CEO Valentino Shal of the Rural Transformation Community Development, Ismail Kiras, who is the Executive Director of Economic Development Council. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I know just they talk a lot about this exact same thing, so we just continue on to this conversation, right?
Certainly. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. So, the new Trade License Act, for those that are not necessarily tuned in, what was the Trade License Act and how have you now reformed it?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I want to start out by saying that the Trade Licensing Act dates back to 1966, so it's quite a very old piece of legislation. And certainly the Trade License Act regulates, the whole business in municipalities, as it is the whole legislation specifically addresses, city and town councils. Under the new proposed legislation, we are now incorporating, legislating for the rural areas as well, because there is definitely, as you know, under Plan Belize, the commitment that we made to the people of this country was that we are going to foster, economic development, and certainly that is what we're looking at. Part of, supporting and fostering that economic development is certainly to regulate how, business is done in the communities.
As the Director of Economic Development and Council, how do you see this as a innovation from what was previously done? I know that there are a lot of concerns from the citizens. So what do you have to say in terms of the positive actions for this new license?
Correct. Good morning. Good morning. It's great to be here. It's important to point out that given that work has been ongoing on this reform over the course of several years, dating back to 2014 actually, it's indicative that there has been a problem. There has been a problem with the current regime administering trade license. The primary concern by the business community has been that year on year it was unpredictable what your trade license would be. And the reason for it is that there was no standard way of calculating trade license. It was it is still very subjective, and it's ad hoc, not transparent. And so the innovations that have been incorporated into what is being proposed in the new trade license bill is to have a standard methodology for calculating trade license, annual rental value that then leads into what the trade license ultimately is determined to be. Other innovations include transparency. The idea is to really publish and have every business owner, every enterprise know and be able to calculate for themselves what their trade license is. And if there is a difference of opinion, there is now a proposed mechanism for disputing that through a formal means through a tribunal. So those are some key innovations that have been included in.
So I guess either one of you can answer this question, but walk me through that methodology process. And in layman's terms, for my people who can't understand, I can't understand it. So walk me through that methodology process. What would that look like? Why is it that there's always this imbalance of how much you would pay?
Right. Yeah. Currently, the Act says that trade license is 25% of your annual rental value. Okay. The truth is that nobody really pays that. I think only banks and perhaps utility companies actually pay anything near that. And the reality is that it would be unrealistic and unaffordable to levy that high rate as prescribed by the law currently. So the truth is that nobody is in compliance with the law. And the reason for that then reducing the rate on a business by business basis is because of that stiff penalty that it would lead into. And so what is proposed is to categorize businesses by their type of business. So all barber shops, for example, would be a specific category versus banks in a different category, law firms, maybe even warehouses. So there's a list of about 20 different business categories. What the exercise that was undertaken and concluded even up to 2019 was the mapping of productive footprint of businesses right across every single business in every single municipality. And then a determination of who came nearest to the legally prescribed rate, and then using that as a base, right, for calculating square footage, the cost per square footage across categories in different zones of the city, and then you simply multiply the cost per square footage by your actual square footage to derive annual rental value. And what is being proposed now is that municipalities have the discretion to choose what rate of trade license they want to levy against that annual rental value. The reality is that it's going to be very simple. Everything we published on municipality websites and the ministry website. so that any business falling into a category in a specific zone within an area can know what their cost per square footage is, measure their own square footage, and know how much they're supposed to pay.
Well, I want to take a step back just a little bit to talk about how we got to this point. Minister had started off talking about the old act. And so what was the process like to reach this point where we now have the proposed legislation? So in terms of consultation, perhaps look on the groundwork, taking into account all that you just said, what is the present reality and how the new act aims to fix some of the problems?
Yes, well, as Ishmael pointed out, this is a long, ongoing process. And when the new administration took over, we looked at it, and there were some very interesting and progressive things about the work that has already been done. So we sort of restarted the process and re-engaged with stakeholders, including the Mayors Association, the different town councils, because all of this has to do with local government, not national government. And so a lot of re-engagement back with them to say, okay, if we have this, what do you want to do with it? And they were very keen on moving it forward. So that was the first step to ensure that. And then, of course, we got approval to proceed with the process from central government. And then once we have crafted what we think is good, then we began to go out district by district, town by town, having meetings virtually because of the pandemic. And so that has continued, and we have a long list of stakeholders who may be affected by the bill, who have been consulted, because one of the features of the bill, for instance, is right now your trade licensing board is appointed by the municipality, by the council, and they can put whoever they want on the boards. But this new bill is saying, no, you can't do that. We will prescribe for you who you need to put. So you need to put somebody from the business community, you need to put somebody from real estate, you need to put somebody from different, representing different sectors of society on the board so that you can have better decision making. And so those people who would be there were also part of the consultation process.
This is catering more for rural development. In the rural areas, the villages and so forth, how are you maneuvering through certain cultural differences and acts against this type of bill? The government and the alcalde system were never something that were one, and so now how are you making those ways into maneuvering that kind of process?
Very good question. I want to start out by saying that certainly under the bill, for the first time, we're looking at, creating, the legislation that is going to regulate businesses in the rural area and have those businesses that meet the criteria, pay their trade licenses. Why is this important? Over the years, since the Village Council Act was established, it was all part of, decentralization, promoting democracy in our communities and so on. But part of the big problem is that, successive governments have basically said, here's the law. We are giving you the autonomy, do what you can. But the resources were never there, the economic resources, and that has been part of the challenge. For the most part in rural areas, the only source of income generated was really from liquor licenses. And you have many small communities where, they do not have liquor licenses. So here is an opportunity where, we, as part of the regulatory process, we're also creating opportunities where, established businesses that meet the criteria of 600 square feet or more, can contribute, economically by paying their trade license to the village council. What this is going to do, and think about a community, for example, like Placencia, or think about a community like Kikaka, for example, where you have so many businesses. Think about the kind of, economic output that they're going to have for those communities. It's going to allow for these communities to, one, raise their revenue, but it is also going to allow for them to be able to provide the much needed services You need to be able to pick up the garbage, to clean the parks, maintain the parks, whatever other services the village council needs to provide. So certainly, we see this as a win-win for the communities. It's important to note that whatever revenue is generated goes, to the village council fund. It's going to go back to them, not to the consolidated revenue fund. To answer your question, how do we sensitize? How do we work with the communities? This is a very important process. It's an ongoing work that we are doing, and certainly we will have to engage, more with other stakeholders, and rightfully so. We do know that, for instance, in the Toledo district, where we do have, the alcalde system, and the other villages across the country, the village councils and other interested parties, we have to meet with them. We have to sensitize them. It's not like this is not being done, but we have to strengthen that, and certainly we will continue to do that. I want to say that part of the ongoing discussion is that since the bill was introduced on Friday, we have seen, unfortunately, a lot of concerns, and I say unfortunate because there's also been a lot of misinformation.
Right.
The concerns, are important if people feel that they are affected. We stand ready to listen. As a government, we have the responsibility to listen to our people, particularly in relation to the concerns being expressed by the artist community. We have to listen. We are not a government here that is going to, impose taxes that are going to make it more difficult for the people. That's not the intention. Really, the intention is to improve the system. Part of that process requires that, we listen, we work with them, and if we have to make the necessary adjustments, we will make the necessary adjustments.
That was going to be my follow-up question, if there is room for revision. So, simple question, open for discussion. Why are taxes good?
Well, I mean, it's like a country functions with the resources that
Yes.
it generates.
I want it to be explained in a way that lists the concerns of the public and establishes how people get the generated funds back into the community.
The state, the government exists to provide services for the society and the communities, and in this case, local governments exist to provide services for whether it's the town or the city or the village, and so whatever they pay has to come back. And this is the thing, right? Especially for rural areas. If now some of these businesses are going to begin to be paying trade licenses, it's not all, because some villages don't meet the criteria, right? But where they do, then the councils have to become accountable to their communities and say, look, I am contributing. What am I getting back for this contribution that I'm making? And so this is the kind of engaged citizenship that has to happen in this country, so that people have skin in the game. Look, I am paying my trade licenses to you. We need better services. We need improved services in this community, and they can begin to make demands because they are making that contribution. At the moment, that doesn't exist, and so that's very important, and that's how it really is. And so all of the concerns, we understand that, because but it is important that for the government and the local governments to provide services, the revenue has to be there. And of course, you don't want to do it in a way, because there's nowhere else that revenue is going to come from. Even if you borrow from a foreign donor or a foreign IFI, you still have to pay through the taxation that you do. So it's very normal. It's normal course of business for states and societies like ours.
I think a very important process that we also have to support is the ongoing training and capacity building of our, village councils. Very, very important. And as the Ministry of Local Government, we have responsibility for oversight over village councils. And certainly, we have begun training, and we foresee that we have to, strengthen this process, because definitely with, additional revenue being generated, we have to ensure that village councils are accountable, first and foremost, to the community, to the Ministry of Local Government, since we have responsibility and oversight over them, and to ensure that at the end of the day, whatever taxes the citizens pay, that they get back their fair share of goods and services to improve their community and their well-being.
And that actually opens up another question which I was going to ask, and that's really about the monitoring and enforcement about some of the new regulations, especially in relation to some businesses which were sort of unregulated in the past, or that deal primarily in cash. So is that also something which is being reviewed, or does the act, in your view, sort of, or the new proposed legislation adequately sort of address the issues in relation to monitoring?
Yeah, well, we have to. Well, the trade license regulates trade. We have the Towns and City Council Act that regulate the work, the actual functioning of town and city councils. So we regulate them through that, which includes prudent financial management. But we also have a program that we're going to implement and roll out this year in order to build the capacity of village councils. And we have already started. We have started with the village of Kikaka, where we are computerizing their accounting system, because all these years the village council has been managing their accounts manually. And we came and we said, no man, we have to improve things. And so we're taking what we are doing with them. We are actually operating their financial management system with the way we do at a town or a city, because of the revenue that they currently generate and because of the money that they manage. And so we're going to take that and replicate that in other large villages and computerize their process, provide proper training, and ensure that they have the right personnel to manage these resources. But I think we're moving into local government, and I just wanted to clarify a few things about some of the misconceptions that have come up since this has been introduced. Is that small peddlers in rural areas are not affected by this bill whatsoever. In order for you to fall under the purview of the law, you have to be a business of a certain size, and we're saying 600 square feet, which is pretty significant. Anything under that, no issue whatsoever. So the information out there that you know, people selling mango, or people have a food stall, or people with a vegetable stand in the village, or selling coconut water, none of that. We have no interest in that. As a matter of fact, we are interested in supporting them, not levying them any fee on them. So please, we need to clarify that right off the start. And also the issue with the peddlers. Peddlers is a term that is used in the existing law, and it's already being charged. Peddlers already make a contribution to the city councils, even in Belize City, right? So that is nothing new. That is simply moved from the old law into the new law, and so the questions of the peddlers, no such thing in rural areas. This thing already exists in the urban areas, and so that simply continues to be what it is. Now, in terms of the entertainers, again, people have concerns about that, and we need to address that, because this is not intended to in any way harm the entrepreneurial spirit of our artists or entertainers. As a matter of fact, we want to encourage it, but it is to regulate and to formalize them. And that is the way you grow. And so we will have to, I guess, through the Ministry of Culture, continue to engage them with them directly, because that's not our purview. But a lot of the times, and a lot of this has come up because they need to engage with the formal financial system and the banking system, and often they're asked about their trade license and they can't produce any. And so this is sort of formalizing that for them, to be able to for them to be able to say, look, I am a legitimate business. And so if the fees and the parameters that were established in the current draft are too high, that can be revisited, and so that can be adjusted. That there's no issue there. But it is not to harm any small artist or any small entertainer or DJ. As a matter of fact, the intent is to look only at large public events, where you have large public events where there's a cover charge and there's lots of people attending, and you know that is actually what was intended in the law, not the private function that you will have at your residence.
It goes back to what Ismail was saying about that fluctuation of how much you would make per annum, right? And I would imagine that is the ideal concern. But I want to kind of shift gears into, I guess, what Gavin was trying to ask in terms of how, not just how you monitor, but how do you monitor 40 years of not necessarily reinforcing certain laws and regulations in this country? It is no news to anybody that when certain laws are put in place, it stays there and everybody still does their own thing. So how is this going to be different? How are you planning to make sure that certain things stay standardized, even once it is amended and set? And I ask this is particularly for the creative and cultural sector, because certain villages will not just have a stand, but they will have an establishment, and that establishment can make it or break it within the year. So why will I pay $1,500 in a trade license if I'm going to be gone in like the next year?
Well, we have to be careful about the figures we
The
throw
figures,
around.
All right, I just threw out a number. It was just a figure.
Yeah, so it would not be any such grand figure to begin with. But the other important thing about the feature of the bill that Ishmael did mention is that what it does is create predictability in the system, and certainty is that once you are assessed this year, that doesn't change for 3 years, unlike what it is now. Now, somebody comes and see your place, and they can say, whatever the fee is. And next year, a different person comes and they have a different view of your business, and they will charge you something else. And of course, you might have two businesses side by side, and they pay two different trade license fees simply because of who is assessing.
But why?
So what I'm saying is that what we're going to do now, and we're going to publish the information as to the formula as to how to calculate your trade license. You can calculate your own trade license, and beyond that, if you feel that you're not being fairly treated, you now have an avenue through a tribunal to make a case for yourself. And so that's part of the transparency of the process, which really doesn't exist now.
Okay, so how
I just wanted to also add in that under the new proposed bill, there are certainly incentives, for business owners and property owners. Under the old law, the current law right now, if you make improvements to your business premises, all those, whenever they are assessed, will, get taxed. In other words, if you have your porch, you have your car park, whatever, your bathrooms and so on, all those are going to be assessed and will be levied a trade license. Under the new regime, there is an incentive for business owners and property owners. Only the productive space is going to be levied a trade license, exclusive of the other areas. And I think that is important. People always think about, so what incentive is there for me to improve my business premises if you're going to be taxing me? That is a key feature of the new bill. And we believe that is progressive thinking.
Yes, absolutely. But I guess it also queries and warrants into, for example, the average person that makes X amount of dollars pays X amount of taxes. And in Belize, we don't have tax returns. So again, how will I be seeing my trade license tax be beneficial for me and my community? Where will I put those assets? How will you put those assets? Because what's good for the neighbor might not be good for me.
Exactly.
So how are you discussing that with the different rural communities?
Well, it's all part of our mandate. We have our rural development officers in all the districts, and certainly, we also have our local government officers. So it's all part of an ongoing training and capacity building that we have to continue to work, in ensuring that, our leaders are prepared, that they are trained, and that, they are informed. And also ensuring that, we can have that oversight and accountability. Very, very important process.
I think a very, very important addition is the matter of, okay, well, what actually is a public service that, that a council would provide? And that's the street maintenance, the lighting, garbage collection, park development, even events, things like these services that benefit the public at large. One of the features of the proposed bill is to zone municipalities.
Right.
And that's going to be a way in which the trade license holder, the business, can actually see where their money is going, because by zone, there's going to be different rates of trade license levied across the different categories of businesses, so that within a downtown area, there can be the expectation that you have the highest level of service provision, so paved streets, perhaps patrols or lighting and things like that in that area, whereas in a less developed area, the trade license will be a little bit lower. And as those areas begin to develop and as businesses in those areas begin to contribute to trade license, they can demand that more services are provided in those areas. And in that way, we can actually spread development within municipalities right across the country, and including villages. And so I think it's important to really say that, you know, people will see where their money is going because of then the councils themselves will have more predictable revenue streams. And that's another thing that is a feature of this, that in designing the new methodology, revenue neutrality was paramount because we couldn't take away from what the municipalities were earning. But now going forward, there's going to be a reliable stream that the municipalities can actually take to the bank, you know, and raise bonds, for example.
So one of the things that happened during COVID was that most businesses transferred to online, right? So how does this Trade License Act affect online businesses?
Well, it contemplates online businesses. Okay. But we have different types of online businesses. We have some that do significant business and some that are just small. The idea with integrating or including e-businesses in this process, which, by the way, started with the whole idea, because as we pointed out earlier, this thing started from 2014. Even before COVID, we already had e-businesses in Belize. So it didn't start with COVID, it started before that. But the issue they had was similar to what some of the entertainers were facing, is that they wanted to engage with the banking system. And again, they came to the councils and say, look, I'd like to have a trade license because the bank is asking me for my source of funds. I'm telling them I have a business. And they're saying, well, show me your trade license, and I don't have one. So it is to regularize that and to help to make them legitimate business. It is not necessarily to use them as a great revenue stream. And so, you know, if the parameters that are currently in the draft are too high, those can be adjusted, because we don't want to harm small entrepreneurs, people who are trying to start a business. We want to encourage them, but if by formalizing them, then they can move on and go on to bigger things. That is the intent. Our intent is to improve the business environment and improve what we call the ease of doing business in the country. And that's why the predictability in the new law is very important. So, and it's all started with established businesses, because they were tired of saying from year to year, my business, my trade licenses change. I have two of us are in the same street and we pay two different licenses because somebody knows somebody at the town council, so they charge him less and then charge me more. All of that's why the transparency in the formula is extremely important, so that everybody can feel that, you know what, I am being treated fairly, I'm being treated just like everybody else. And that's why publishing the methodology where you can self-calculate is extremely important. And locking it for 3 years means I don't have to worry about the trade license people till 3 years from now. And even if within now and next 3 years I improve my business, fix up the parking lot, fix up the bathroom, extend it some more, you know, certain things will be excluded from the next assessment. So I don't have to, and so we're pushing that forward. And so it is extremely important, because we have an economy to build. We have had economic stagnation and decline before COVID. We had COVID. We had a loss of the tourism industry. We're now rebounding from that. And so we are trying to make it easy to do business, so you don't have to stress out about trade license. Let me just worry about it. So now for the small people, this doesn't affect them. This doesn't affect them, and we will make sure it doesn't affect them. Because, and that is, I think, the concern that the people have out there. The small entertainer, the artists, and so forth. Those things are going to be addressed. We're going to fine-tune the law to make sure that they are not in any way harmed by what we're doing to improve the ease of doing business.
Some critics might say that, you know, you're moving a little bit too fast, right? That we're trying to slowly build back to something that is manageable. And I guess that is to everybody's opinion. But how long will it take if you need to make amendments? How long will those amendments take? And then when do you foresee putting this into action?
I think a very important question. Of course, we're at the first stage. It goes to House Committee. We get input from, you know, individual persons, affected parties, interested parties, you know, and then, you know, we move to the second stage where, you know, the bill goes through the second reading. Of course, by then, you would have already considered whatever amendments were being proposed. We do not, if all goes well, and we're anticipating that we will get the support to push the bill through the House. We do not see the bill being implemented until January of 2023. Okay.
Not bad.
I was going to ask, we spoke a little bit about, let's say, the controversial, let's say, social media, but in your actual meetings with the stakeholders so far, what's the feedback been like from the councils and other stakeholders?
So over the course of the years where we've tried the previous iterations of finding what the standard methodology is, because that was the sticking point. How can we come up with a standard methodology? We did engage extensively and primarily with brick and mortar businesses. And as I mentioned, as a result of this exercise for the very first time in our history, the Ministry of Local Government and municipalities have geo-referenced actual data of productive footprint of every business in every single municipality. And all of that was looked at and analyzed. So people have been aware. And it really, for example, in engaging through the Chamber of Commerce, it came as a priority action item for them, requesting that something needed to be done to improve the system. And what we have is a vastly improved proposed methodology. It's not perfect, but it's a first step. And that has been generally embraced and accepted. I think people definitely are looking forward to the predictability and just so that they can plan and budget better. I think, as Minister and CEO have said, now we need to go down to perhaps the granular level to identify the impacts on specific sectors and adjust accordingly to make it more palatable, more affordable.
One more question before we wrap up, because we're wrapping up in until minute time. How will this affect churches and non-profit organizations?
None whatsoever.
Why?
No, those are civic groups. They don't, as far as we're aware, they don't exist to make up as businesses and to generate a profit. So we're not engaged with those.
That was my final question for this morning. Thank you, gentlemen.
Before we go, if I can
yes, please.
We are encouraging, the ministry is encouraging people. There are going to be House committee sessions to discuss this bill with interested and affected parties. Please make your representation. You can also, also in our release that we issued, there's a contact number for the Director of Local Government. Our Department of Local Government is absolutely interested in hearing the views of people so we can make sure that we move ahead, but move ahead in a way that is beneficial to the business community, because really what we want is to stimulate local economic growth, stimulate the national economy, improve people's lives, and ensure that we do it in a very sound way. So
how
that's
often are those meetings?
Well, I think it's just once, if I'm not mistaken,
okay.
the House committee meeting. But if you're not able to make it to the House committee meeting, we have a contact number and an email in the release. You can also reach us.
You want to say that on air? The contact number and email?
I don't have both the number and the contact number offhand, but it's in the release. Yes. And if you like, you can just simply go to our Facebook page. You can also reach us.
Okay. I think Minister has a contact number in his notes.
Yes. Let me see. All right. Certainly, I can share this. So, contact numbers at local government is 828-4285, 670-2643, or you can email at Clifford, as in CLIFFORD king@labour.gov.bz.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you too, Minister.
Thank you very much too. We do appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, gentlemen. We hope that we hear more about this as the time continues to press on, and we have that conversation about who should be taxed and who shouldn't. And with that, we'll take another break, and when we come back, we'll have our final conversation for this morning, so stay tuned.
Empowering women isn't just an idea or a concept.
Women are an integral part of all workforces, including the maritime industry. For years, they have contributed to the success of shipping lines, ports, onshore services, and more. Yet today, women only represent 1.2% of the global seafarer workforce. On Wednesday, the Belize Port Authority, the Belize Coast Guard, and the International Merchant Marine Registry of Belize invite you to join them in the first celebration of the International Day for Women in Maritime, celebrating under the theme Training, Visibility, Recognition, supporting a barrier-free working environment. The event will highlight issues like the need for visibility of women in the maritime community and the many contributions women have made. It will also recognize the women already making waves in Belize. Join the ceremony live on Channel 5, Facebook, or YouTube on Wednesday, May 18th at 9 a.m.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
A new government of the People's United Party had a clear plan to rebuild a tourism industry in ruin and to ensure that thousands of Belizeans would return to work. Today, tourism is Belize's premier revenue earner. Hotels, restaurants, bars, clubs, and tour groups are open for business in a big way. Small and large entrepreneurs and vendors are benefiting from a vibrant industry, with new airline carriers choosing our destination. Our people are working again, providing for their families and helping us to build a beautiful, stable Belize. That was our promise, and we are getting it done. In a year and a half, we have done so much together. Let us continue on this strong record. Forward together. We will continue to deliver on Plan Belize.
Galenia Hospital, located in Cancun, Mexico's premier tourism destination, is a state-of-the-art healthcare facility that provides highly specialized medical services. We are Quintana Roo's biggest private hospital with board-certified doctors and staff. Some of our services include Cath Lab, Adult Intensive Care Unit, Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, emergency rooms, operating theaters, ambulance services, and more. We are a medically accredited hospital by JCI, Accreditation Canada International, and General Health Council, providing extraordinary care in every specialty, from our cardiology department to our neurology center. We are focused on treating the entire person, body, mind, and spirit. Contact us at medicaltourism@hospitalgalenia.com or visit our website at www.hospitalgalenia.com. Come to Galenia Hospital in Cancun for a truly personal medical care experience.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
And we are back with our final conversation for this morning. Joining us, we have Judy Paris, who is the corporate sales and marketing at Caribbean Motors, Caribbean Tires. And we have Kelvin Aguilar, who is a sales representative at Caribbean Motors.
Great.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good
How are
morning.
you?
We're great, thank you.
Okay,
Good
then
to
tell
be
me
here.
that they are coordinate. So we'll see how this goes.
That's a good one, right? Yes.
So yes, talk to us. Tell us all that you all have to offer when it comes to the Atlas battery and other promotions at Caribbean Tire.
Well, today we're promoting our battery that lasts longer campaign, which is pertaining to our Atlas batteries, which we have been selling at our company for quite a few years. And for this promotion, starting yesterday, May the 16th, until June the 11th.
Oh wow, so it's almost a month.
Almost a month. 4
Okay.
weeks of promotion of what we'll be doing, which would be 15% off on any battery of what you buy at our stores. All of our branches countrywide will be having this promotion.
Okay, what makes this battery so special?
Like you said, good morning, everybody. Like you said, we did some type of coordination in the beginning,
Yes.
right? Ms. Judy is supposed to be the one that's going to be doing the most of the talking. But anyways, Atlas battery has been around, I believe, a little bit more than about 9 years, roughly. You know, and over the years, we've been innovating the battery, the different technologies that they put into place for the Atlas battery. You know, we have batteries for small vehicles, all the way up to trucks, buses, and if you even require a little bit more power, then we have batteries for that as well, you know. We have batteries for the little vehicles, commercial vehicles, industrials, when it comes to the tractors, buses, trucks, everything. We carry the complete line of Atlas batteries, you know. And why Atlas? Because number one, we stand behind a 2-year warranty. All right, so on manufacturer defects, of course, you know, the first year is free replacement, and then the second year we work a prorated warranty. All right, so the first year, if the battery failed on you, and it has nothing to do with your vehicle, your alternator, or whatever might be the cause, it has to do only with the manufacturer defects, we will replace it free of cost, you know, and then the second year. So that alone is going to make you feel comfortable. You know what, you have a 2-year warranty along with us. And of course, all the different technologies that have been put into place for the Atlas battery as well, you know. For example, on the Atlas battery, we have maintenance free. So which means if your alternator is working properly, it's giving the battery back the voltage that you're using, and you put this, you install this into the vehicle or the bus or whatever, your alternator doesn't give any trouble. Your battery is going to be maintenance free forever. So I don't know if you guys remember, but back then, I remember my dad used to take out the battery out of the vehicle, take out the little caps on the top. I don't know if you guys would share the same experience. And then he would put the charger on it and then leave it to charge overnight. Well, that's not the case with these batteries now. You know, so once you put these into your vehicle, it's practically maintenance free.
Okay.
You have nothing to worry about. Now, we always advise customers, you know, because sometimes the alternator does give you the trouble, right? And then as well, the Atlas battery would have a magic eye indicator in the middle that helps you know the state of charge of the battery. So if the eye indicator is green, that means you have a good charge. And if it turns black, that means you need a little bit of charging. So when you put it on the charge, it's going to turn green again. You know, it's just because, and these are the little things that you got to look out for. All right, if you want to keep a healthy battery, you know, we got to also keep them strapped down, you know, and the magic eye indicator is very wonderful when it comes to knowing the state of the charge of the battery, because if you notice something is wrong, then you come to us. Hey, you know what, I noticed that this morning I had a hard start. You know, there might be something wrong with my battery, or is there something wrong with my alternator? You can come to any of our branches, and we will inspect the battery for you and let you know if your alternator is charging properly. So whatever the test determines, then you will be guided to different steps, you know. Okay, you know what, the battery does need a little bit of charge, but it's because your alternator is charging below voltage. We need to get some carbons replaced and stuff, and then, you know, we try to get everything into place, no?
And pertaining to that, I would like to add that pertaining to the warranty at all of our branches, we encourage our customers to also bring their receipt whenever they're bringing back the battery. And of course, on our battery has that we can take out the date of when it was purchased and the year. So that is very important for us as well, that whenever any customer purchase from us, and we do, of course, that free additional service to check up on your battery. So if you bought a battery within a month time or 2 or 3 months and you want to still just double check and see what's happening, of course, you could come to any one of our branches and we would definitely check it for free.
So if I am in the Belmopan branch and I am in need of a battery, but you are all out of stock, what happens next?
Well, next, what we do, we have so many branches. We have 8 branches. So if you're at Belmopan branch and you need a battery, we would also coordinate along with our other branches. We have a delivery truck every single day running to all of our branches. It starts from 7 o'clock in the morning, leaving Spanish Lookout, go all the way to Belmopan, Belize City, Orange Walk, Corozal. Either one of our branch would be able to have a battery that will send it back to Belmopan branch for you within the day.
Lovely.
So what are some of the other features of the promotions that you want our viewers to know about?
Well, actually, it's mostly just on the Atlas battery that we're promoting for the 4 weeks. It's only for us to encourage our customers to always, check out your battery. Sometimes we know people have been, our customers have been left on the road, not knowing that it is because of our battery. So the free, service of you checking up your battery, even if maybe it's not our battery, that you come by to check before to see if you need a battery. And of course, then we can definitely tell you what battery is it, what size battery that would go into your vehicle, of course, which would be the Atlas battery. Then we can get to for our customers.
And I know Caribbean Tire, whenever they stop in, they have a giveaway. So tell us a little bit about the giveaway and how one of our viewers can get a chance to win.
Well, of course, I would like to mention before too that Atlas battery is manufactured in Korea. We did not mention where it was manufactured, but it's manufactured in Korea and also by one of our brand tire. Hankook Tire is one of our manufacturer also for the Atlas battery, which Hankook Tire, everyone within Belize knows about our Hankook Tire, so which is reliable and like that. So Hankook also manufacture the Atlas battery. So today, of course, we'll be giving away, we want to give away, Caribbean Tire is always known to, to do things for our customers. So we have 2 prizes that we want to give away, 2 gift cards. One for $100, which we would like on your page for any one of our customers to snap a picture of your Atlas battery under the hood. And the first person that does that will receive $100 gift card, which they can shop at any Caribbean Tire branches.
Buy anything
that they want, they would get this $100. So the first person, I guess on your page, that take a picture of the Atlas battery from under their hood would get this $100.
All right, so you heard it here, folks. Log into Open Your Eyes BZ on our Facebook page and snap a picture of your Atlas battery. And the first person to do that walks away with a $100 gift card from Caribbean Tire.
That's right. That's
All right.
Do that, leave it in the comments, post it on our page, and let us know. So that's the first one. That is the first giveaway for this morning.
Yes.
And we have another one, which we have another $50 gift card also that we would like to give away, which would be for our customer to the first person that comment where is it that the Hankook battery is manufactured and which the Atlas batteries which is manufactured and which tire company manufacture this battery.
Right.
So, it's easy. It's very easy. We want to make it so easy for our customers to win.
So where was the Atlas battery manufactured and the tire company? Okay, so
that
manufacturers.
You mentioned it not very long ago.
That's right.
It's an easy win.
So if you are listening to us now, you should be racing to those comments right now. So
and of course, the first person to win to comment will walk away with any more prizes.
No, we have these 2 prizes. But we would like to encourage our customers. We have 8 branches. I'm not sure from the last time we were here. We have this promotion is at all of our branches, which starts in Spanish Lookout. Which if any customer would like to find out what battery is it that the vehicle use, you can definitely call any one of our branches. Our efficient staff will be right there ready to assist you. You could just tell them the year of your vehicle, the make of your vehicle. Throughout the years that we have been selling batteries, we know which battery works well in which vehicle or heavy equipments. We know that. We had done our studies and we have seen what had happened and what, how much cranking amps each one needs and like that. So we had done that homework, within our company. So we know which one of our Atlas battery works in which vehicle. So we definitely encourage customers, if you want to know, you don't know what battery or if we have it in stock, you can definitely call all of our branches, any one of them. We could start with Spanish Lookout, which would be 8230107. Our Belmopan branch, 8220390. Our Santa Elena branch, which is 610-9319. You can call that one. We have PG branch, 7222912. We have Dan Grigger branch. You can call 615-4393. Belize City branch, 2245560. Orange Walk branch, 3220153. Corozal branch, 4220162. You can definitely call any one of our branches. Our clerk will be definitely ready to assist you all.
I can't believe you remember all those numbers. Guys, I'm serious. She's not even looking at the screen. She just said the numbers. She memorized all of those phone numbers. So that already tells me the reliability and the extra attention that you have at Caribbean Tires. So thank you all.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. So one more time, the two giveaways. The first one is for a $100 gift card at Caribbean Tires. So take a picture of your Atlas battery and send it to our comment on our Facebook live stream at Open Your Eyes BZ. And our second one is to answer the question, where was the Atlas battery manufactured and which tire is it associated with? So log into our Facebook live stream, write it in the comments. The first person to answer those comments and those questions will win the prize, and they're telling me that we already have winners. Okay. So the second winner for the $50 gift certificate is Sonia Singh. So Sonia is walking away with $50 gift card to Caribbean Tire. Thank you. And remember, we still have one more giveaway. So make sure that you're the first person to snap a picture of your Atlas battery. And when you come back, we will have that winner for you all. Any final words for our viewers this morning?
We would just like to encourage our customer to take advantage of this deal of what we're offering for 4 weeks, which would be started May 16 until June the 11th. 15% off any battery of what you need at any one of our branches. So we just encourage you to take advantage of that. Especially at this time now, we would like to, really encourage them to do that. And of course, we have to thank our staff who are behind the scenes assisting our customers throughout the years. We really want to thank them for doing an excellent job serving our customers. And of course, thanking our customers countrywide for choosing Caribbean Tire.
Thank you. Kelvin, final words?
Well, I just want to, like she said, encourage people, because right now we're going through, I would say, a difficult stage, and anything, well, to me, if I can save $1, I would do it. And for this month, it's going to be a 15% discount, when you add, it does add up, So on top of that, you're getting a very reliable battery. So that's what I use in my truck, and it's been working very, very well for the past few years, no? So thanks again to all the staff that are behind the scenes, like Ms. Judy said. They're just making sure that you guys do get whatever you're asking for, We've compiled the list over the years. We are going to issue the battery that your vehicle, the battery that is recommended for your vehicle. And so feel safe, even if you don't have an Atlas battery, but you notice that something is wrong with your starting, you're cranking up, come to Caribbean Tires. Let us tell you what's going on. We do free inspections on batteries, so you can just drive up to any of the branches, and then we will inspect your battery, make sure your alternator is charging, and we will issue a recommended battery.
Even if I buy my battery from Caribbean Tire?
you can come with whichever battery you have under your hood. You know, if you need a free inspection, it's a free inspection. You know, you could have a Renko, a Gongher, or whatever the other brands are, and you can come. If it's giving you trouble, we want to make sure that you're safe on the road. That's the bottom line. You know, so.
Well, thank you both so much for coming in. We're waiting for that one more winner, and we'll announce it when we get back. So thank you all from our friends at Caribbean Tire, and of course, go and get yourself an Atlas battery today if you need it. With that, I think we're gonna get into our final break, and then when we get back, Gavin is going to talk to you about trends.
Yep.
So stay tuned.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Deja mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
What does live and let live mean to you?
Live and let live means that I can be a mother and have a career.
It means treating people the way you would want to be treated.
And making sure your business is accessible for all Belizeans.
It means that everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect.
It means to love your children no matter what.
It means to support people who face discrimination.
It means that men and women should be treated equally at work.
It means that everyone is able to contribute to building Belize.
It means saying no to all forms of discrimination.
It means love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Live and let live. Respect for all Belizeans.
Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo Messi! What an incredible strike from Leo Messi! Neymar and Messi is standing over this. Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo
Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
Empowering women isn't just an idea or a concept.
Women are an integral part of all workforces, including the maritime industry. For years, they have contributed to the success of shipping lines, ports, onshore services, and more. Yet today, women only represent 1.2% of the global seafarer workforce. On Wednesday, the Belize Port Authority, the Belize Coast Guard, and the International Merchant Marine Registry of Belize invite you to join them in the first celebration of the International Day for Women in Maritime, celebrating under the theme, Training, Visibility, Recognition, supporting a barrier-free working environment. The event will highlight issues like the need for visibility of women in the maritime community and the many contributions women have made. It will also recognize the women already making waves in Belize. Join the ceremony live on Channel 5, Facebook, or YouTube on Wednesday, May 18th at 9 a.m.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind the scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
And we're back. And if you're joining us right now, it is Trending Talks Tuesdays, and that is where I give you a breakdown of some of the most trending social media topics that have been buzzing for the past week. And if you weren't at Project X this weekend or out and you're on social media, you would have seen a bunch of stuff that I'm going to be talking about today. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is Sunday was the Billboard Music Awards. So of course the celebrities were all out in full force. It's one of the biggest nights in music after the Grammys, and we saw lots of out there. We got Shensia right there. We got some Caribbean representation, and some of the biggest winners of the night included Doja Cat. And for the best R&B artist, there we've got some more celebrities showing off their looks. There's DJ Khaled, and this was trending all over topic just because of the fashion. There's Megan Thee Stallion as well, and she made headlines for something else, which we're going to talk about next. But we can see some other looks. There's Doja Cat, as we said, Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox, and Travis Scott and Kylie Jenner. So of course, like any red carpet show, this made a lot of news for the fashion that everybody was wearing. And as we can see, everybody was looking great, and this was one big trend. Now, I did mention Megan Thee Stallion was trending on Sunday night, and that was for a different reason. That was because of a lot of her interactions with the famous model and actress Cara Delevingne. And there are a lot of memes where people were making, because it seemed like everywhere Megan was that night, Cara was right behind her, making a big deal, fussing over her because she's looking beautiful. So as you can see, a lot of memes like this talking about chances of being watched by Cara are slim but never zero. We see her popping out of the background. And if you look at a lot of the pictures from tonight, everywhere you see Megan, you saw Cara, and you can see a lot of people made fun of that. And this one was one that made me laugh, about Megan Thee Stallion trying to hide from Cara Delevingne. And then somebody also tweeted that her behavior is so outweighs anything embarrassing that I've done, so that she's cured my anxiety. I do have to say it was pretty interesting watching a lot of what was going on Friday, and I did laugh at a lot of the memes, but I'm sure that Cara is just, maybe she's just an over-enthusiastic fan, and I'm sure she's been seeing a lot of these social media buzz, but I think that was a funny one, so I did want to speak about that. And finally, turning back to some local and international sort of news. And it's something which I did mention a few weeks ago when the story first broke that Sports Illustrated was shooting some of its content for the annual swimsuit issue in Belize, but now the issue has been fully released and we got to see the full photo shoots that took place. One of the most significant the most significant models was Mae Musk, who is on one of the covers. As you know, there were several covers of the swimsuit issue. Mae Musk, Kim Kardashian was also on another one. But Mae Musk, who is the mother of Elon Musk, of course, she took her photo shoot in Belize. They were saying it was in Placencia. And of course, there were several other models who did take photo shoots around several locations in Belize. And when I had first spoken about this, we spoke about people like Instagram influencer and model Jasmine Sanders. And we're seeing some of the other photographs in the locations. Also, we've got all of these other models as well. And the photographer for the Belize photo shoots was Yusai, who is also a pretty famous photographer. Some of you might know if you watched America's Next Top Model. He was featured as a photographer on that show. But of course, it's a great thing, and we also saw several local agencies like the Belize Tourism Board and others publish the photos. And of course, this is some great exposure for Belize, and also showing some of the natural beauty of the country, different locations, and of course, you know, as we see right on the cover, they do mention Belize. Perhaps you can't see it on the screen clearly on the screen, but it is mentioned right here. So those were just some of the topics for this week, and that was generating some buzz all over the different social media platforms. But of course, you can always send in your suggestions to our Facebook page, or you know, contact Channel 5 if you want to see us discuss a certain trend, because especially if it's something funny, we love memes, we love to laugh, so we'd love to share that as well. But those were trending talks for this week. So yeah, what's up, April? Did you watch any of the music awards, or were you?
I get my trends from Trending Talks with Gavin because I don't do social media. Yeah. But I will say that the one thing I did appreciate about the Sports Illustrate is the fact that they put someone older.
Yes.
Right? And you know, it kind of just pays that homage to you're never too old or too young to feel beautiful, to look beautiful, and to be sexy.
Yes.
So I really enjoyed that trend. But any other trends for our viewers?
Well, I did notice that, or I should say, this is just a sort of general trend that I've been noticing over the past few weeks. I did mention Project X in the beginning of the trend, and that's just that the events are really starting to pick up.
Yes.
You know, it's now, I guess, the summer season is opening up. And of course, people are getting used to not having as many restrictions due to COVID. So people are coming out in full force to a lot of events, which is encouraging. Of course, we're still not completely out of COVID, and we did see a rise. But it is good to see people enjoying themselves, and it's good that, you know, people are starting to you know, relax and
normalize a little bit. That's just to tell you that Gavin gone a Project X, and he know.
I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I was looking up trends for here.
So in order for you to allow Gavin to go to Project X and other entertainments, please go onto our Facebook and Instagram and provide us with a topic that you think will be fun to air on Tuesdays. But guys, that's all we have for you all on our show this morning. If you have any questions at all or concerns, drop us a line at OYE at channel5belize.com, or look us up on social media at Facebook at OpenYourEyesBZ, or on Instagram at OYEBelize. We also are being told that we have the name of our
winner.
Yes.
We have the winner for the first of the gift certificates. And that is the $100 gift certificate from Caribbean Tires, and our winner is Yolanda Kowo.
Yes.
And so congrats, Yolanda, you have won a $100 gift certificate. You can contact Caribbean Tires or Channel 5 if you want to collect your gift certificate.
Yes.
And of course, we want to say congratulations to both the winners, and we want to say thank you to all our guests this morning.
Right, but that's all the time we have for you all today. We thank you so much for viewing with us, sitting with us. You woke up your day with us. You started your day with us. You started it right here with us at Channel 5. We will see you next time, and stay tuned. Remember to keep your eyes, your minds,
and your heart open.
All right, Belize, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.